What's going on, everybody? It is me, Mr. 560 here, 560 Gaming TV. And I was going to make this video as a reaction to the recent videos by Beast Mode Gaming and Cynic Alex, two of the top dogs when it comes to making videos about this game on their channels and things like that. But because I did watch them, but they're basically saying the same things. They were pretty much let down and disappointed by what's the recent developments and the recent patch notes. I'm going to preface this by saying, I told you so. We are living in the aftermath of the Ultimates boycott. There was no, just like I said in my last video, there was no real boycott when it came to the Ultimates. There was no real boycott. It was a lot of people complaining, a lot of people upset about what was going on. They voiced their upset and their opinions and their concerns, and they took it all the way to Marvel and all of that stuff, and Marvel got their hands involved. And then there was that whole situation where they had the loot box fiasco of across different games from different developers. They were getting scrutinized by they were getting scrutinized by governors and all other stuff from different states and stuff. So when the government gets involved, they got to make changes and stuff. Now, the only thing that happened in that boycott, as I said before, in that boycott was Netmarble took the loot boxes out, right? Took the loot boxes out, refunded people money, this, that, and the other. They gave us some free money. They gave us free crystals in order for us to spend on the loot box or whatever we wanted to do to try to ease the pain of it. We still complained about it. A couple of weeks later, they got rid of them. Marvel Games Divisions got involved, said something about it. And then within not even a month's time, probably by the end of the month, all the changes, by the next update, all the changes were gone. Whatever, people went back to playing the game like normal, and people went back to giving the game thumbs up, 5-star ratings. The developers listen to us and all this other stuff like that. Bullshit. Okay, we are living in the aftermath of what you guys claimed you did when you didn't. Do you want to know why it did not work and why we are seeing what's happening now? Okay, I told you, because you did not boycott them. Okay, look at what I have written down here. Abandon the game. Boycott Netmarble. Period. Okay, you have to look at how boycotts were done back in the days when, before all the internet and all the all the other stuff, back in the dinosaur ages, as some of you people might think it was. All right, you have to look at how those boycotts were done back then. Those boycotts were done and they affected change, like the civil rights boycotts and stuff. They affected change. Why? Because they abandoned the companies. They went with alternative methods to do what they had to do. The bus boycotts worked because they stopped riding the bus. Okay? They stopped giving their money to the bus. They didn't say, oh, well, we're just going to ride the bus like 1 or 2 times a day now, maybe once or twice a week. No. They stopped riding the bus, period. Okay? Black folks, white folks that was down with them, all that. They stopped riding the bus, period. No more. They didn't. And the bus companies, a couple of them tanked, if I'm not mistaken. And then the rest of them that were still around, they made changes. They made changes. Serious sweeping changes throughout the country, throughout the company, that probably are still being seen now. That's how you do a boycott. Okay, Cynic Alex and Beast Mode Gaming and all these other people, they're complaining about what's going on with this update because, well, they didn't get what they wanted out of the updates. Okay, we made this big fuss, got all these people on board, this, that, and the other, talking about we're gonna boycott. And look what happened. The developers was like, like we give a fuck. They're not doing anything illegal. They're not doing anything wrong. And I can guarantee you, Marvel Games Division is not going to get involved with this. Why? Because they have another Marvel game lined up for them in the next, God knows how long, next year, 6 months to a year, whatever. They have another game lined up, and they know that you guys are going to be like, well, Future Friday didn't work out for us, and it was, oh, we might as well just go ahead and fuck with Future Revolution. This includes the whales, man. Y'all are just as much responsible for what the fuck is going on right now with this game as the guys who pay just a little bit of money at a time, like me, and the people who pay who don't pay any money at all, like the free to play, the F2P players. I'm watching Cynic Alex's video concerning all this, and Cynic Alex is saying things like, well, you know what I mean, I spent $500 yesterday on the game. And this, that, dog, you know this shit's coming out. Why didn't you wait to spend your money? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're not setting a good example for the rest of the people. Well, he spent $500 in the game yesterday for the build as it is. No, dog. You talk about boycotting. You knew the patch notes were going to be coming out. You know the update is scheduled what, for tonight or tomorrow night? Why not wait? Why not wait to put your money into it? Why would you sit back and go through the process of even telling people you spent $500? Because I can. Dog, you're not setting a good example. Don't disrespect to Cynic Alex, because to me, I think he does great work. He's probably he's got the most scientific angle when it comes to the game, very analytical. Okay, he understands the little nuances about the game and things that and the other. So when he talks about this whole situation, being involved in the money stuff, you feel me? And the money that's coming, he knows what he's talking about. All the other whales and all them, they already know what they're talking about. Okay, but for him to even mention that he just spent $500 on the game yesterday, that's not helping. That's not helping. Okay, you're not making a statement. You basically just gave them an extra $500, and they said kiss my ass by putting out the patch notes. This is why and this is why I'm saying the boycott did not work, and why we're living in the aftermath of the Ultimates boycotts, because they realized nobody actually boycotted. If they did, it wasn't enough people to make a dent in their pockets. It didn't make a difference to them, and it's not going to make a difference to them. And this is a slap in the face with this new patch notes. They could very well be trying to crash the system. They could very well be trying to crash the game. Okay? If they were trying to get rid of the game and end the game, they don't want to do it before they put out Future Revolution, because everybody's gonna be like, well, when's the next Marvel game coming out? What happened to Future Fight? They would essentially be shutting off a key piece of their pocket money. Okay, they're not going to shut the game down until Future Revolution is ready to come out, and then they're going to try to migrate players over into that. Do you think they're going to give the whales or anybody anything for that when they go into Future Revolution? No, it's a brand new game, totally different. It has nothing to do with it. Systems, all that other stuff is different. We don't care how loyal you guys have been to us. We don't give a fuck. We just want your money. And there will be guys lined up just because they love Marvel to go ahead and do all this shit. Marvel games ain't going to stop them, because if they did, they wouldn't put this shit out right now. They wouldn't have released the patch notes. I'm not even going to bring up the patch notes. You can go watch their videos. You can watch Beast Mode, and you can watch Cynic Alex and all them, whoever's making these videos. I'm not putting up a video for that shit. I'm not talking about the patch notes. Dog, I'm going to uninstall the game. If I haven't yet done it, no, I haven't done it. I haven't even logged into the game in like a day or two. When I logged in, I just do a couple dailies and then get off. It's pointless now. It's pointless now. Okay? There's a lot of other mobile games you could be playing, a lot of console games you could be playing. If you got a console, there's a ton of free console games out there that you could be playing for free. Okay? There's whales in those games also. There's people who spend and splurge money out of their pockets for those games as well. And they don't have predatory practices like Future Fight is doing. Netmarble set a precedent 5 years ago when they created this game. They set a precedent. They all but pushed forward the games as a service industry. Okay, they all but pushed it forward, because up until Marvel Future Fight, the games as a service thing, it was working, it was good, but it wasn't like that great. Why? Because games like Spider-Man Unlimited and what's that, Temple Run and all that other stuff, they only went but so far. Repetitive gameplay limited. They could have added more. They kept adding content. But you know what? It only went but so far, because it just started to boil down to money, right? The games were simple. Now the games are a lot more complex. Okay, there's a lot more involvement into them, a lot more development time and structures and stuff. And you gotta understand, Netmarble's development cycle and their update cycle, they don't just plan this within a month. They plan this shit months, probably even a year in advance. This 6.5 update, they plan this shit a year in advance. And this is why I said the Ultimates boycott did not work, because it wasn't a boycott. Because if we really boycotted the game, if people really boycotted the game, then it wouldn't have just been them pulling the loot boxes. They would have abandoned all practices of anything that seems untoward that the players would not like, because they would have been listening, because their money got affected. Their money did not get affected with the Ultimates boycotts. Okay? Their company was going to be affected because the government got involved with it. Okay, not involved with Netmarble themselves, but because of the other companies, and then Netmarble didn't want to go through that. Marvel Games got involved with that because that's not going to look good to them, especially with the public and the government. Come on, an after effect of what was going on in the rest of the games industry. Okay, Netmarble tried to take the same stance as what EA Games was doing back then, a couple of years ago, and other companies that was doing the same thing. Okay, and the only reason why, and I'm telling you, the loot box thing was not something brand new. Okay, the loot box, to possibly get content was not something new. It's just that it got called out there because of EA Games, because of what they did with Star Wars. Like, come on, dog. Come on. What aren't you guys seeing? What don't you understand about the reason why the last boycott that was supposed to happen didn't work, and why we are living in the aftermath of that? What don't you understand? Tell me what you say it right now, say it out in your heads, speak it out, say it out, because I've heard people's arguments. Okay? I've heard people's arguments in the groups and the forums. It worked last time. They took away the loot boxes. Okay, they took away the loot boxes, but that was just from the complaints. A boycott would have made them abandon all of these predatory practices that they have in place now. And they would have never allowed them to put out something like what they're about to put out in the next update. They would have never even went down this route. They would have never even took this route. And if they did take this route, they would have made it so much more fair and less about the money. Come on, guys. They got server farms to take care of, okay? They got employees to pay. They got developers to pay. They got IP license fees to pay, okay? They got to pay Google to have their stuff on their site. Up on the Google Play Store. Come on, guys. They got investors to pay back. And they want to turn a profit too. The fat cats over in Korea that are making these games, they want their pockets to be padded. They want your money. They got a big, huge global player base, a huge player base. And they know that with their huge player base, they got all kinds of ways to make money. They got all kinds of ways to do certain things. Like I said, they map this shit out for months. And if they got something going on now that you're just seeing now for the first time, I can guarantee you they've had that stuff planned for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to boycott, man, do it right. My thing is this, a real boycott, okay, a real boycott, like I was saying from back in the day, a real boycott happened when, back in like the civil rights days and stuff, the real boycott happened when they stopped supporting these companies, when they stopped supporting them, period. If you want to do a real boycott of this game, you guys are going to have to do it to the extremes. Uninstall the games, leave them bad reviews, and go on the rest of their games and leave bad reviews. And if Google changes the thing to where it says you can't leave a review until after you install the game, go to the point where it says leave a review and give them a negative review. Period. Period. Give them bad reviews. Give them bad reviews. Pull your money, pull your time, pull your resources away from them because they don't care. They don't care. This is why we're seeing this happening. If the boycott that we supposedly did when the Ultimates update was actually was effective at all, you would see them doing major changes. Because look what happened with the Ultimates boycott. They changed one thing. They just removed the loot boxes. One thing. That's what they changed. And then everybody went back and started giving them, by the end of the month, by the next update, started giving better reviews. The reviews and everything went back straight up, right? That's why this time around, when you look at these videos that Cynic Alex and them are talking about, and with the with the update patches, the notes, when you look at the updates, the patch notes, you'll see they only changed one thing. Because they feel like that one thing is the only one that really mattered the most, which was the premium cards. And then they're trying to give you this little incentive to, okay, we're going to give people a chance to farm one premium card a month. Okay, one premium card a month. Now, for a person who's free to play, they might be like, good, I don't have any premium cards at all. So you'll have essentially 12 premium cards by the end of the month. But look what you got to do to get them. Read the patch notes. You'll see. One thing they changed, one thing, and that's all they did last time with the Ultimates boycotts. They changed one thing, and really, honestly, like I said, that one change was not really because of the players. It's because the government got involved with EA Games, right? And I had to pause the video real quick, talk to my brother. He was telling me, yo, that he remembers that shit that happened a couple years ago with the fucking with the Star Wars John. He was like, yo, that shit was fucking crazy. Yeah, one thing they changed because they didn't want to meet the scrutiny of the American government. Okay, they didn't want to go through all of that. Okay, but that did not stop them from having shit lined up for them to do. I can guarantee you that they have other things lined up. And even if we abandon the game and scrap the game entirely, they're like, fine, we can shut down the servers and repurpose them for future revolution. No, make them feel it for all of that shit. Okay? Because they got other IPs and stuff that they could use for that. I know one of the biggest ones they have is the King of Fighters All-Star. I wouldn't be surprised if they have this system already in place in King of Fighters All-Stars and it makes them money and they decide to bring it to Future Fight. They interchange their systems of play and development and things that work between. They interchange between different games that they have. There was things that I had King of Fighters All Stars on my computer on my phone. Now I'm playing this and I'm like, yo, some of this stuff that they have is actually pretty good, right? And then I started seeing some of those things come into Future Fight. They even stole some shit from the DC Unchained. They stole some of the stuff that they were doing that was kind of intuitive and put it into Marvel Future Fight. And look at DC Unchained. They didn't do a global release. They had all this stuff in there for people to spend all kinds of fucking money on the game that they were barely updating. $100 million investment the company 433 Creative got probably had did enough to pay them back. Maybe even took a loss on it. And now the game is being shut down. A game, to me, honestly, they could have competed with Marvel Future Fight. Why? Because it was pretty much a clone, but it did a lot of things right. It's just the money aspect of it. When they put out these games that are free to play, okay, and they're lacking content, but they want money, that's not a good sign for success. The point what I'm trying to say is the last time we did a boycott for this game, it did not work. Okay, the only way it's going to work for this and for any future games that Netmarble brings out for not just Marvel Future Fight, but for their other IP and everything else when it comes to their games. Okay, I would like to see someone like Senegalix and Beast Mode Game or something like that hold Netmarble to task for their other games. Okay, but then it takes a lot of time to get into grind and stuff. But they can see, you can compare you can compare the marketplaces for those other games to what's going on in Future Fight, and you'll probably see that there's similarities there. All right, like I said, they do this stuff, they put this stuff, they implement this stuff over time, they develop these different practices over time, and then within time, as the updates roll out, they implement different things. What works here and didn't work there, they'll remove and add something else in place. And I can guarantee you they got shit lined up. Because when they do these updates, they don't just think about them. They plan them out, make them from month to month. But they probably have them planned for years, for 6 months to a year, probably more. You never know. The cycle of development has to match the pace that they release content upgrades and patches and stuff like that. Anything that breaks the game to the point where it will fuck with their money, they will fix automatically. Okay. But yeah, if you're gonna boycott Netmarble, you must abandon the game and boycott the company. You need to show people that you feel disrespected by their practices. Don't just name this last Don't just name this last update. Talk about previous updates. Talk about other things inside of the game that they've already got. Make notes. Put that out there and put it in the reviews. Send them emails and letters. Send it to Google. Not sure if Google's going to listen to you too much. Send it to them. Send it to Marvel, okay? Send it to the gaming community for people who play mobile games and the games as a service community. Send it to all of them because that boycott will sit back and send waves, not just ripples, waves throughout the industry, okay? Especially the mobile games industry, all right? Send waves, all right? Your pockets are concerned and their pockets are concerned. In order for them to get money from you, they have to find ways to make money for themselves. And they don't really care if they give you content or not. because right now you're paying for the Marvel IP license, and they're finding ways to exploit that and exploit your pockets. I don't know what you guys want to do, but complaining is one part of it. But you know what I mean? Pull those, delete the APKs, shut down your accounts if necessary. Delete your actual account if necessary. Okay? Don't go back to the game. All right? Don't be the person, I'm going to lower my spending in this. No, dog, it's not going to work. It's not going to help. Because when other players start seeing that you do this stuff and they want to go and install the game and they look at all these reviews, I don't want to install that. I don't want to put that on. Some people will do it. Oh, let me see what they're talking about. Let me see if what they really say is really what's happening. Okay. Other players will be like, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to deal with it. I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? They want to put their money into something. People don't want to go broke playing their games, but honestly, Netmarble and them, they don't fucking care. These games as a service companies, they do not care. So it is what it is. Y'all take it easy. This is Mr. 560 here, 560 Gaming TV. If you like the video, please do not hesitate to subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you understand my point, where I came from. If you disagree, that's fine. Please put it in the comments. If you agree, that's fine. Please put it in the comments. You know, give this a thumbs up, a thumbs down. Share the video. Let people know. Y'all take it easy, man. This is Mr. 560. Peace.